All right, then we're live. Just give me 1 second to the playback. We just got to do a couple little edits. We need to change a couple little things around. Why is it not letting me do this? There we go. Boom. Hit that. Save that. Okay. We're going to move past that. And then we're going to put up a tag. And I'm going to talk about this live real fast. And then go to bed. That's what we do. Please put Jake in there with Berlanga. What the fuck? Hold on. I'm going to let you jump on the panel, Hablo. Oh, man, that shit's too funny. I'm going to let you jump on while you jump it on. If you jump it on, I am going to be tagging this video real fast. Tag this. Give me one more second. If you're in the background, I'll flip back over in just a second to add you. I'm just trying to get to a stopping point on these tags. Give me 1 second, Hablo. If you hear me, 1 second. And I'll add you to the panel while I'm typing this stuff up. All right, let me flip over. Let's go ahead and hit the ad. What's going on, regulator? How you doing? I'm just doing tags in the background.
Yeah, add one tag for me.
What's that?
Can Jake Paul beat Berlanga? Can he beat Berlanga? Hashtag Haplo question.
Well, you know, he's a lot bigger than him, though.
Not that much. What was that cruiserweight that they fought at?
Yeah, they fought at 190.
I'm pretty sure Berlanga will be happy to sit on his ass for 6 months and gain weight. He'll be eating the good old pasteles. He'll be eating the tostones. He'll still come in there and fucking wax that tail.
Oh man, it'll
be like Jim the Grim Reaper Roper, the Great White Eye. Remember, he came in like fat, smoking his cigarette. Like Berlanga will just be all right. I'll go up to cruiserweight real quick, get that bag.
I was gonna do I did do a video, but I deleted it of the results of the fight. I figured I'd just go live for a few seconds. But yeah, I think Berlanga would demolish him. But I mean, he's got a lot more experience. You got to think about that too, Hablo.
I mean, as a pro, he has a little bit more experience.
He's got a lot of more experience.
A little bit more. I mean, they're both fighting the same kind of like competition that we know they're gonna win. You know.
Yeah, but Berlanga
I never even questioned that Jake Paul would win this fight. Like that was the whole point of the fight, for him to win.
But whatchamacallit, Berlanga's got like 17 fights. Jake Paul's got 5 now? Or 4? 4 professional? This was his 4th, right?
Who has more rounds though?
Berlanga.
You got no, come on. Half of those fights, I mean, most of those fights were first round knockouts, brother.
Save for Jake Paul.
First round?
Yeah, like Nate Robinson. Hold on. Nate Robinson was second round. Askren was first round. Who was the other person he fought? Nate Robinson, Ben Askren.
He just won 8 with this dude.
He fought a YouTuber, right? That was his first fight, and he knocked him out.
I think the rounds are pretty close, bro. When you count rounds.
Berlanga went unanimous decision in his last fight.
That is true. That's what gives Berlanga the edge. But
I'm looking up Jake Paul's box rec because I can't remember who the first guy was he fought. What was his name?
Like KSI's little brother.
No, it was Gibb. The KSI's little brother was an amateur fight. So it was Gibb. He knocked him out in the first round. Nate Robinson, second round. Ben Askren, first round. And then he just went 8. But what did you think about the fight? Did you think it was a split decision, or did you think that
I didn't even watch it. I was listening to someone call the fight. I heard that. There was a point in the fight. I think it was the fourth round where whatchamacallit, Woodley had him hurt and then just sort of backed off.
He really didn't have him hurt. If you watch it back, like on the replay, which you'll be able to see the highlights soon. If you watch the punch, it didn't actually land cleanly. I think it just knocked him off balance, and he looked more hurt than he actually was. Because it was like a really hard punch that came on like the top of his head. It was like a hook, and it looked like he got off balance.
Yeah, I hear you. I just, after having gone to Vegas for the Pacquiao fight and put out all that money, I wasn't spending $50 on this shit.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But the undercard was really good.
That'd be a quarter. That'd be a quarter of my winnings from the Ugas win there.
You know, I felt like Ugas lost that fight.
I remember your video. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mentioned
still
it.
believe.
I think it was.
I still believe Pacquiao won that fight. I don't believe them copy box numbers are accurate, and a lot of them shots were going in between the guard of Ugas.
You know what I was saying, bro? I was there in the arena, and here's something I think that they should never do. I don't think they should ever post up CompuBox numbers, and they were doing this all night with Pacquiao. After every round, they put up the CompuBox numbers according to them. Like, and what people don't know, they hear CompuBox, and they think like there's some like magical computer calculating the punches. And all it is some dude with a clicker. Yeah. And like, why would they post that up? Because the judges could see it. If I can see it on the scoreboard, I know the judges have a better seat than I do. They could see it, and then they've got Jinky all up on the big, gigantic screen, like wincing and shit, like after every punch that Pacquiao takes. Like, that doesn't help either. And I said on, I think it was Black's channel, like, I was like, leave her at home, man. Like, all she's doing is like making it look worse for you, because like every time she winces and looks like she's uncomfortable, like the judges could be looking up there and seeing that too. They could be looking up and seeing the CompuBox numbers. You got Jinky ready to cry. The other guy's girlfriend is like, looks like she's having the greatest night of her life. Like, I don't know, bro. I just thought I could see where you're coming from with Pacquiao. I mean, you could score that for Pacquiao, but one good thing I could say about Pacquiao is the dude does not get gift decisions.
No, not at all. Never. Decisions normally go out of his favor. He normally gets shitted on. Yes.
I mean, you could argue that there's one or two the Marquez fights,
but that's it.
In his favor.
Yeah, but outside of Marquez,
anybody else. I mean, look at Horn. Horn did not really beat Pacquiao like that.
But even worse was the first Timothy Bradley fight.
Bro, on the Timothy Bradley, and let's not forget, there's also the first Morales fight.
Yep.
That they called a punch, and it was a headbutt.
Yep. Well, that's the reason why Pacquiao said because of that fight he would never take a PD testing before a fight because they said no. It was blood. It was blood. It was for PEDs, and they withdrew too much blood, and he said he felt woozy going to the ring.
Yeah, and then he got tricked into wearing the wrong gloves, and then he got cut by a headbutt, and they called it a punch, and so he had to fight the rest of the fight with that fucking gash, bro. That gash was serious, dude. That's one of the worst cuts I think I've ever seen, maybe next to the Vitali cut against Lennox Lewis, but I mean, his eye was split two different ways, along the eyebrow and then up and down, and it was from a headbutt. So, and people say Morales outboxed Pacquiao. I say, like, dude, you got to watch that fight again, because I think if it wasn't for that ruling that was a a punch and not a headbutt, that they would have gone to the scorecards. And I think at that point in the fight, Pacquiao would have won. And I still think he held his own for the rest of the fight, even with the cut.
No, he made a good account of himself, but because people are going to come on the playback, the topic is Woodley and Jake Paul.
Yeah, sorry, I'm digressing.
No, you're good. You're good. But I know you said you didn't see the fight, but I will say this to people who hear this later. Jake Paul actually looked pretty good early in the fight. He was putting combinations together. He was going to the body. He changed from body to the head. I mean, he actually showed skills. He actually showed that he had been practicing, and he didn't fold. He didn't break. When he got tired, he survived to the end. And even in the 8th round, when he was exhausted, whenever Woodley would land a shot, he would try to return fire. So I think he's a real fighter.
I mean, but then you wouldn't put him in there with Berlanga. And I heard an interview with Berlanga's matchmaker earlier. Salute to G Funky had an interview on his channel where they were talking to the top ranked matchmaker about Berlanga, and he was saying, look, we're not going to rush it. We're going to move them along. These are character building fights. We want him to get some rounds in, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of feel the same way with Jake. Like, they're kind of in the same place. Is Berlanga slightly ahead of him in terms of being a boxer? Definitely. I mean, because he's got the amateur. Yes, he has the amateur. And even in the pros, he's got, a few more fights, and he's been fighting real boxers. So, but that's the kind of guy who I think would destroy. I think Berlanga would destroy both brothers.
I mean, at this point in time, he probably would. But again, I think that's too far of a reach, and he's way too far advanced for him to get into the boxing ring with one of the Paul brothers. But I will say this. I don't know what's going to happen, because after the fight ended, Woodley wanted a rematch because he lost. And Paul was like, well, I'll give you the rematch if you actually get the tattoo that says, I love Jake Paul. And Woodley said he was going to do it, so that might happen. But if the rematch was not to happen and Woodley doesn't get the tattoo, however that works out, Tommy Fury is supposed to be his next opponent. And that's what they were setting this up for. That's why Tommy Fury was on the card. So that's a real boxer.
You know where Jake fucked up on that? He didn't specify the size of the tattoo. I would get that tattoo on like the bottom of my foot, like 1 centimeter.
No, not the foot. Not the foot. You can't put it on your foot. I mean, but Hablo, let me ask you a question real fast. When you own an action figure or some type of toy, where do you put your ownership on them?
I get it, but I'm talking about.
Yeah, you can't put it on the bottom of the foot.
All right, somewhere, like in the somewhere where no one's gonna see it. And then, as soon as I get the rematch, I'm having that shit covered up with "fuck Jake Paul."
I will tell you this though. Woodley wants the rematch. I don't know if he'll.
Why would he get it? He's not a big enough name, bro. He ain't getting the rematch.
No, and he didn't do enough, in my opinion, to deserve a rematch, because it was pretty one-sided, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it, but I was just going by what I was hearing, because, I figured I'll listen in to someone. But
right.
You weren't on. None of the homies were on, so I was just listening to some other channel. And, it sounded like, and this guy I think was for Woodley, and even he was like, yeah, Woodley didn't win.
Nah, the problem with Woodley is he just doesn't throw enough shots. He just wasn't letting his hands go. He was kind of like Adrian Broner. He had times where he looked good at evading and blocking shots, but he just wouldn't let his hands go. And if you don't let your hands go, you can't win.
Absolutely not.
But I think the Tommy Fury fight will be a better fight between the two, because I don't even think Tommy Fury can beat him, to be honest with you. Tommy Fury looked like pure ass tonight.
Yeah, but do you think his opponent was a better boxer than Woodley?
Well, his opponent was another MMA fighter, and he was also a very small guy. Like I think he fought at like 160 pounds, and he had to go up to 190 to fight Tommy Fury. So I don't know because Woodley's a bigger dude than the guy that Fury was fighting. So I don't know who would have been the better matchup. I really do not know.
Hmm. I just think Fury, anyone named Fury, probably has more of a well-schooled boxing background than anyone named Paul.
Oh no, man! You got to watch him fight. He wasn't
No,
looking too
no, no,
good.
no. No, if he was wrestling, I'd give it to Paul all day long.
I don't know. I'm telling you, Hablo, based off of so I watched Tommy Fury's highlights and I've seen his last two fights. And based off his last two fights and based off of Jake Paul's fight that he just had in his fight against Askren, so we'll do last two fights for both. I think he's a better boxer than Tommy Fury, to be honest with you.
Wow, strong statement.
It is. And hopefully they'll be fighting next. And hopefully Woodley won't get the rematch, even though Woodley wants the money. That's all it comes down to.
I seriously doubt. I'd probably laid money if I was in Vegas right now that Woodley will never see another Paul brother in the ring again. I mean, why?
Well, he'd be better off trying to fight Logan. Logan's not as good. Logan's pretty trash. So, I think,
Logan went the distance with fucking Mayweather, though,
yeah, but Mayweather's only 147 pounds.
and 147 years old.
Exactly. Mayweather is the same age as Ortiz.
But you know what's sad, bro? For the rest of his life, Logan Paul will get to say, "I went the distance with Mayweather."
That's right. He went the distance. That's sad.
That's like Rocky and Apollo Creed type shit.
But I think well, I mean it's hard to say. Like Logan will be able to say that, but at the same time, Mayweather's not a knockout artist. And as he got older in age, he never really went for the knockout. So I mean, there's a lot of people who went the distance with Mayweather.
He knocked out Conor McGregor in the fight right before that.
Yeah, because Conor McGregor is trash and got no gas tank.
But Conor McGregor is a real fighter.
Yeah, but he's also the same size as Mayweather.
Right. That was at 147. I got to give you that.
Yeah, and Jake Paul was like 200 plus pounds by the time
500 pounds. They
like,
gave him that mushroom from Alice in Wonderland and made it even bigger.
But I'm gonna tell you, in that Jake Paul Mayweather fight, whenever Jake Paul had his, I mean not Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whenever Logan Paul had his moment where he was mauling Mayweather, you could see that size matters because Mayweather was getting bounced around, even though he was blocking the shots. It looked like a bear still in a picnic basket from a camper. Like he was just getting mauled.
Hey, but dude, back in the beginning of boxing, dudes used to fight bears, man, and they would beat them.
He said he used to fight bears.
He did. I swear. I'm not kidding.
Man, those bears were probably high on some drug or tranquilized. Like them bears weren't fully conscious.
They were pouring whiskey down the bear's throat.
It's like the matadors with the bulls. They fucking drug the bulls before they go out there. It's bullshit.
I hate that sport. I really hate that sport. My favorite thing about it is when the bulls get the matadors.
Yeah, I agree. When they gore the matador, I love that.
And they're like the bouncing up through the air in slow motion, getting fucked up by the bull. I'm like, damn, because you know how bullfighting works, bro.
They kill them.
They have 3 levels of dudes that come out. The first guys are on horse, and all they do is ride around stabbing the bull with a spear. And then the next guys are I forget the bandurrieros. I think they're with the flag that's spiked, and they spike flags into the bull. And then after the bull's been bleeding for about 20, 30 minutes, and then they bring out the Matador, and he looks all cool, making fun of the dying bull. But I love it when that bull gets the Matador, bro.
I'm right there with you. I love it too. I love seeing them get flamed through the air. I love seeing them get gored. I love seeing them get stomped. Like
Stomped is the best. The first they get gored, then they're on the ground, and the bull's like jumping up and down on them. It's funny as hell. It's like, what the fuck are you doing trying to kill a bull in front of people? Like, come on, man.
But it's not even like you said, it's not even a fair fight because it's already been bled to death. And then before that, they drug them. Like they're already drugged before they do that. So
yeah,
that's why I always pull for I always pull for the bull.
That would be like someone taking Mike Tyson, right? And putting him in there with like 5 swordsmen who cut him up, and then they drug him, and then they put him in there with Lennox Lewis. That's basically what bullfighting is like.
I mean, that's what I heard actually happened to Mike Tyson. That's the only reason why he lost to Lewis.
Well, I don't think anyone drugged him, but he was definitely on lithium because he said that after. He was like, that's why he was so calm. You know, remember they had the guys standing across the ring to keep them apart because they were so worried after that weigh-in. So I think he took something before to keep himself composed, and that ended up working against him.
Well, he also, Lennox Lewis said Tyson bit his leg while it was on the ground.
Yeah, I've heard that too. He's like, he pushed the head back and he looked and it was Mike Tyson biting his leg. That's crazy. That's what Berlanga would do to Jake Paul.
Bite his leg?
He would have him so intimidated. Like all that fake internet shit would go right out the window.
I don't think it's fake though. I think Jake Paul really believes he's a fighter, and I think he really wants to fight.
No, when I say fake internet shit, I'm not talking about him wanting to fight. I'm just like all his popularity and followers and everything. That's not going to help you when Edgar Berlanga's biting your leg, bro. Feel me?
Check this out. So this live that we're doing, right? I just went to monetize it. It says this video is running limited or no ad due to content identified as not suitable for advertisers. It remains fully playable and is eligible to earn subscription revenue from YouTube Premium. Let's just turn this shit off. I don't know what we did.
It's just me talking too much shit. You shouldn't have me on if you want to monetize.
Nah. You're always welcome on. But I think I'm gonna go to bed. I just want to make a real quick video about Jake Paul and Tyron, and I would not like to see the rematch. I don't think there's a point of the rematch, and yeah, that's just how I feel.
I'm gonna be like Rocky and say, "Ain't gonna be no rematch."
Well, we'll see. But you have a good night, Hablo.
All right, bro. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, you too. Hey, to anybody on the playback, y'all have a good night too. This was just real short. I'm about to go to bed because it's almost 1 a.m. in the morning in Atlanta, Georgia. So all y'all have a good night.
Peace.